All right. Well, so welcome everybody. It's wonderful to have you all here for tonight's virtual Wisdom Council call. It is Monday, September 18th, 2023, and we're going to be exploring Radiating Bliss, the fifth of the Andean water essences, which will also call us into thinking about the fifth chumpy stone. And if those terms are new for you, never fear. We'll explore them as we go along. Before I turn it over to Eleonora, I just want to point everybody's attention to the events calendar, which at this specific moment seems not to be working on the website. But if you are thinking about joining Eleonora at the Sacred Center, either online or in person this fall, there's a class on November 4th and 5th. The autumn chill class for anyone who's taken the intro before. And there's also a meditation in person on October 27th. If you're new to the Sacred Center and would love to get started, you can do it right away. We have a brand new video on demand introduction to Chumpy Illumination class available at sacredcenter.net, which is most likely where you signed up to join the calls. And there you can spend a few hours just really watching Eleanor's videos, diving deep, getting to know the Chumpy stones, and then you'll be invited to join the classes that are either live or in person or offered via Zoom each season. And again, that next class is November 4th and 5th. If you go to the website and you can't seem to find it, we're working on it. You can always just send Eleonora a note to let her know that you're interested. Elle, are there any more announcements you'd like to make before we dive in tonight?
There is a meditation coming up. Did you mention that?
October 27th. Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I guess not. Wow. So welcome everyone. It's been a couple of months, right? The summer came and it went. And here we are in autumn, and it's a real autumn here in Warwick. It's just, hmm? What? Oh, yeah, can you hear me? Oh, let me just make sure that the bells
Good.
are working.
Make sure you've done your original sound for musicians.
Um, Original sound is on, but I think, um, is this it? No?
Uh-oh. Try it one more time. There you go. That's a bell.
You hear it?
Mhm.
Okay. Um, if when I start to play, if you don't hear the sounds, I don't know, maybe going back and forth for some reason, just let me know. All right, Marisa? Okay.
Will do.
Okay. So, yeah, this is a real autumn in Warwick, New York. 70s, sort of warm, chill, not cold enough for wood, but sweaters. So, well, what I'm going to do this time is, instead of talking a lot about what we're going to meditate on, I'm going to just play the music, and then we'll kind of like chat afterwards. But it's on Radiating Bliss. I would like to tell you why we got that name. We were at Ausangate. Ausangate is one of the 12 mountains, and you could call it the Master Mountain, because so many ceremonies are done at the top of that mountain. And it's just you're awestruck when you see it. It's kind of like, the mountain that sticks out in the range. And when you go up it, it's very like intimidating, it has to get to know you, and then all of a sudden you relax as you go up and up and up and up. And so we were wandering around by horse on Ausangate, and then all of a sudden we went to the top, and the top I think was almost 16,000 feet, and I was dying because I couldn't breathe. And just got off the horse, and then all of a sudden I looked around, and I don't know, I looked around and I said to who was with me, my friend who was with me, I said, there are no directions up here. We're at the peak where everything is just bliss. We're radiating bliss. No directions, no duality above. So that's where we got the water from the lagoons in Ausangate. I'll talk about that later. Um, but the meditation is going to be about, I mean, what is bliss anyway, like, and who can actually describe it? I won't attempt to describe it and tell you how to get there. All I know is that when you let go of all of your thoughts and worries, or when you allow yourself to go deeper into your heart, some stillness happens, and then the mind is still, and then there's a space that I, 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 I started to call it the greater reality, just because it is a reality that's approachable. It's not something like, a multidimensional place that we talk about way, way out there. It is a greater reality that exists just outside of our chatter, right? And when we were talking about how to describe this, and with Marisa, it was really about, there is so much chatter going on now. Chatter in schools starting, chatter in what's happening with the earth, chatter in like everything's so much more expensive, chattering about so many things. And this stillness and stopping the chatter right beyond that is bliss. Kriyananda calls bliss happiness. Another one would call bliss joy. I like that word, joy. But so we're going to start like that, and we're going to use, if you don't have chumpies, we're going to use let me see, 5 stones, and it's a simple diagram. It's a square, right? And the square kind of symbolizes the foundation of the mountain. And right in the middle of it, where the heart is, the heart of the mountain, the heart of you, is number 5. And in the last few calls, we've been trying to deepen our connection with our heart. There's the beating heart, and there's the heart. There's a heart that we've hid our entire lives, because heaven forbid we should share it with anyone. That is terrifying. So that heart that's been hiding for our entire lives, that little child, or that timid heart, is the heart that we want to get in touch with, because that heart is the keyhole to the heart of your soul, which is the heart of the universe, which is the heart of the one, right? And so every time I say that, and every time we sort of plant the seed, we dip deeper and deeper and deeper, not by doing it, but by just wiggling our way to a place that we're not so familiar with. And we go, oh, all right, okay, this is new. And then, surrender, and then find ourselves deep within a place. It's a place that's so comforting, in our own selves. When I was doing a meditation the other week, and I found it to be like a waterfall, like all these, harsh thoughts or incidences that came up in my psyche, I would just wash in this waterfall, and then they would just dissipate, and that would be it. So I'm planting those seeds so we could begin to work with the energy that is there to help us eliminate even pains in our bodies, that are held by karmic memories. It's the place, right? It has a lot to do with the bliss too. So let's just get started, and we'll give you a little time to get just 5 stones. Okay? All right.
Shay, yep.
I just want to ask her if I can use the stones that we discussed earlier.
Al?
Yeah, I would use these ones. Use those personally for yourself, okay?
I didn't hear what she said.
I didn't either.
What did she say?
I think I would use these ones, which maybe means use this shape rather than the other shape. I think that's what Elle said.
No, but the stones that I spoke with her this morning about, I can use them and just put them in a different shape.
Elle, did you hear Shay's question?
Yeah, I would forget what we did this morning and just be part of what is going on now. Four
Okay,
stones, any stones, and one in the middle.
5. Okay, get different stones. Thank you. Let me just get different stones then. I need a second.
Okay.
And when you're ready, we can meet back here. One other thing that I didn't mention was that the water in Radiating Bliss comes from, there are many lagoons in Ausangate, and one of the lagoons is this crystal clear, deep, deep, deep lagoon that they call the jaguar, the feminine jaguar lagoon. And the feminine jaguar is, the jaguar is the mythological creature that walks between worlds, can be of this world and of the next world as well, the other world as well. So there's a lot of like non-dualistic ways to sort of fall into bliss. But that water is freezing cold. It took a lot of courage to get in there. And I guess we'll talk more about this, the fifth Champi too. And the Champis are a language that keeps clarifying themselves as you use a language. As you use a language, the language becomes more solid and concrete and begins to emerge as a living, breathing entity, right? So the more we talk about it and the more we exchange ideas, the more it becomes the reality that's very important and will assist us in our own evolution right here, right now. So it's not like something that you start out with. It's a language you learn like French and then you just always speak French. No. The more people that speak its language, it speaks through you as well. Any thoughts about the meditation or?
Elle, did you want to talk a little bit about five and harmony before we dove into that part, or?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, five is we're going in order now, which is a good thing. We went 1, 2, 3, 4 is the heart. And it's interesting, I was such a rebel in the beginning. Like people say, like, well, what's 1? Is that the first chakra? What's 2? Is that the second chakra? I refuse to compartmentalize any of this until now. And 5, because we've worked together with these ideas and these forms for many, many, many years. And 5 is, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 is the heart, the opening of the heart, having compassion for self. And then 5 is often related to the throat chakra. And in fact, in many cultures, 5 is the first chakra of the spiritual body, right? Once you've figured out how to really be in your body and not have to work so hard at it, you just are. you're not in survival mode all the time, living in survival mode. You've stepped beyond it, and you know what to eat, you know what to do, but you live from the non-dualistic place, let's call it, the place right beyond fight or flight, where everything is just about, clawing your way out of bed every morning. So 5 is about that. 5 is about from the heart up, how do you express yourself? 5, harmony. How do you harmonize all the variety of things that are going on in your life? Sometimes some things are sharp and not so easy, but how do you harmonize with them? And most of the time too, it has a lot to do with, in the nega, has to do with what are you withholding? Why won't you say that? Why won't you say you belong to a mystery school? Why? Like what are you holding back and why? Going deep within your psyche or yourself and seeing what makes it so hard to say what you want to say, right? To express what you want to express. So the nega of it has a lot to do with withholding and isolation, feeling, and this kind, just from working with so many people, we all have had this or have it now, where you don't talk about spiritual things, you don't talk about mythological creatures or mystery schools. You only talk about it with the groups that you work with, right? And so to actually implement and bring these shadowy places that we try to visit here and like integrate them into our daily life and just throw out a thing here and there about what you're doing and what you're seeing. And yeah, I went to bed and I meditated or something like that. I'm just using this as an example. Even with your children, if you have children, certain things you don't say, certain things you withhold because you think that they won't get it. Things you withhold from your husband. You bought like $100 pair of pants that you refuse to tell him about or something like that. Just the way this is so common. And it also, working with a lot of women have thyroid issues and they have it early and earlier. They don't have it just at menopause. They have it when they're 40 years old, and I think a lot of it, some of it has to do with electromagnetic stuff, but a lot of it has to do with what you're crunching and won't say, So it's a great chumpy to use. And actually, when I looked at trying to find the chumpies, they all look like that solid. There's 4 solid, this one is, actually this was my first set from going to Machu Picchu the very first time. So, and this is made from Machu Picchu stone. But so it's a solid 4 and there's a peak, which is right the place in the middle. And then this one is the other one where it's the same thing. That's why it chose me the form. So I really like this form for 5. Okay. Anybody have anything they'd like to share? Lori?
I did feel a lot of water. I felt like I was shaken up first, with the rattle, and like my cells were like almost like the little Dippin' Dots or something from my, in my body. And then then I was submerged in water, but then I had like nesting vessels underneath my heart where the water would go from one to the other. And then I got really hot, but then I cooled down in the water. And then I was just not aware of where I was, just very peaceful after that. Yeah.
Would you call that bliss?
Yeah, it felt great. I didn't want to come back, so yeah.
While I was talking about the withholding, I noticed just in traveling, when you go to places that are more indigenous in the mountains, people in the mountains, they're singing and screaming and playing flutes and talking, and they use their throats all the time. They're always singing, and always eating. and it's just an interesting thing, yeah, because they're in relationship, in relationship with all their surroundings, you know, the mountains, the stars. My father, you know, the star up there. So I wish we could begin to talk like that. Maybe we'll create our own language here. Anybody else?
I was definitely in another realm. I didn't see any, I don't remember seeing anything, but I just felt myself being this wonderful, peaceful, beautiful place, real peaceful. And when you called us back, I forgot where it took me a moment to kind of come back. So it's interesting. I haven't been here for a while. It's interesting that you're talking about the throat chakra because I really need some release. I'm doing therapy and trying whatever to just release my voice. So.
I think that what you just said was very powerful. Release my voice. That's just a beautiful way to say it. Release my voice. I had a client who was a teacher of yoga who came, and she was studying voice, and like we were talking about how you do like somatic healing yoga and like voice at the same time, you know, like they all go together. But remember the place, once you experience that kind of bliss, your body never forgets it. So you could lie down in meditation at night or right before you go to bed and like get in that place and like bring your voice there, because that's the place where all healing can take place for sure. You know, bring your voice there, try to see how, you know, what you can do with releasing your voice.
Yeah, when nobody's listening.
And what?
When nobody can hear me.
Oh.
Just speak out or sing. Nobody wants to hear me sing. But I shouldn't think that. But yeah, thank you.
You could think about it in your head.
Yeah.
You could sing quietly in your
I used to be able to sing.
Oh.
So it's in there.
Perfect. Yeah. Janet, you just got this gigantic smile on your face. Uh-oh, we lost her. Oh,
Yeah.
there you are.
I was saying that I would love to hear you sing, and I'd sing with you. So yeah, it's for me the meditation started with being at an amusement park, not really knowing that I was at an amusement park because everything was so close up and the lights, but the tilt-a-whirl and the noise from just the carnival atmosphere, but this tilt-a-whirl and the lights and the lights and the lights. And it was, you know, I'm looking around, noticing, and I'm feeling kind of overwhelmed by just the busyness of it. And then like this curtain, like a vaudeville curtain, just came down and in front of me, so that everything that I was just witnessing was totally blocked off, and I was just in this blank space, dark, extremely silent place. And you know, so to me, I'm, you know, I think about the chatter, I think about the noise, and not knowing, you know, not having the tool in my toolbox, but not knowing that I have the tool in my toolbox to shut it down, that I have the key. And so remembering that I have that curtain, I'm in charge of that curtain, And yeah, I guess the bliss piece was just the relief of yeah, the relief from the chatter, from the crazy, and knowing we're being reminded that there's a place and it's really close by. You don't have to travel. Yeah. So thank you. It's a big gift. It's a big gift. Mm.
Yeah, life can be meditation too. I don't know, I'm just very, I have to say it, but I'm just very pulled to something going on in back of you energetically. So I don't know what that is, but
My Buddha and some candles.
oh, maybe, yeah. It's just there's just a being. Yeah, it's the Buddha being, I guess, in back of you.
Yeah, but probably they're all lined up on the steps, all the guides, all my friends, feeling.
When you added up the numbers for anybody
Oh,
um who doesn't know anything about the chumpies, like each one is a number of points. So like if you randomly picked the 5 chumpies, what did they add up to?
so for me, it was 43, so 7.
Okay. Right. So 7 is wholeness, right? And 7 is the top, could be related to the top chakra. And 7 always has to do, the negative, it always has to do with, well, I didn't do enough. I could have done more. Why didn't I do this? How come I didn't learn more? How come I didn't study this? Why didn't I get that? Why? So it's that chatter of there's always more that I could do and know. So that's perfect.
Work to do.
No, 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 no. There's no work to do.
No,
Nothing. That's the secret.
that's right.
Yeah, right. Nothing to do, everything to see, right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Eleanor, mine added up to 9.
Julie?
Yeah, mine added up to 9.
And do you know what 9 is? Did
I
you have
can't
any kinds
remember.
of serenity there or bliss, Julie?
Um, you know, it felt like a bunch of little individual, with each sound was an individual little snippet of a journey in time. Without me going anywhere, it was just a feeling. And so, but my bigger takeaway is noticing that while the throat has always in the past been a issue for me, the more recent takeaway is that when I don't engage, when I just sort of release and accept, I actually feel more at peace. Like it's almost the lack of voice when I accept that I don't have to speak. I can just let things go, and that's where I find more peace now. And like the crazy just kind of continues on without me. So that's been a newer, more recent revelation. So I was just noticing more that I was actually more being present than anything else.
Well, actually, that's a good distinguishing thing there, is because the 5 is not about speaking. 5 is about being open to being seen, which is speech or no speech, but being seen, not hiding, not withholding, not withdrawing. So sometimes, yeah, being just present and allowing things to happen around you the way nature intended it is a real gift. And 9 is awakening,
Mm.
right? 9 is after the 8 of purifying all the old stuff and stagnant stuff. You approach 9, something awakens in you, something which you don't know what you don't know about it. It just is. So,
Yeah, that actually fits really, really well with everything going on with me currently. So yeah, thank you.
isn't it interesting how no matter what it all turns out to be, it's perfect. It's a perfect metaphor for what this is. It's like any combination of numbers always comes out to be whatever it is, the state of consciousness is always perfect.
For sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody, any last comments? So productive. Anyone? Oh. Yeah. She
Go
can't.
ahead, Channy, can you take yourself off mute? There you
Okay,
go.
there you go. Sorry. It took me a few minutes. Hi. I forgot to sign it, sign in right away. So I came in right away with the noise, and I just did whatever I was able to at the time. And I put the diamond shape because that's what felt right for me. And then I just took 2 stones, and those were for my heart. I just felt those belonged. And it ends up being 4, it's technically like 5 stones. But the 2 that I took was 9 and 2, which is 11, which is manifestation. And that I do remember, making that connotation, like that note, that knowing that it's about manifestation for me. And it's about 9 and 2, which is awakening and balancing, like awakening, like being aware and balancing that to be able to manifest, which to me felt very apropos. And as soon as I started hearing that very loud, a really loud noise, it was like, wham, that is so strong. And it felt like, 1 second, that's not bliss. But maybe it's the fear of not knowing what is bliss. Maybe I'll never reach it. Maybe this is what it is. Trying to search for it, I think was like a little bit like scary for me for a minute. But then I felt that just being can also be like bliss. Maybe that's the bliss. Just being and being okay with yourself in the situation is bliss. So appreciate that. And then I felt my heartbeat just calming down, like relaxing. I'm like, yeah, that's what it is. And it was nice. I don't know what they all added up to, but this was like in a way like, wow. Yeah. It's like
Well,
being okay.
what bliss is not is searching for it.
Right.
So serenity sounds like, just like kind of, there's definitely a different frequency or vibration to bliss as opposed to serenity. Surrendering to what you don't know that you don't know is surrender. So
That's my problem. I like that word, serenity and surrendering. That's what it felt like. No, not
yeah,
having the need to work and do in order
yeah.
to feel that thing, which I don't know what that is, and I'll get there, I'll let you know. But if I'm so trying so hard to reach that, I'll never reach it. Stay in your place, be quiet, which I know how to do very well. So like it shouldn't be so hard. Be there and just receive, and it'll come to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. Well, I'm glad to see
Thank you
you.
very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a journey for us actually with the heart. So it was like very, I was thinking in reference to my son had open heart surgery 6 weeks ago. So this heart thing for me was very, I guess also that time my heart was really beating. Like I feel like he's really healed and it's so amazing. And I know that we did the work and everything, but I still feel how like God was with us all this time in such a beautiful way, and how he healed is just like really amazing. So I'm very grateful. So my heart was beating, I think,
There
on
you
account of
go.
that as
Well,
well.
that explains a lot, because the heart being open, all of the, all of the debris of worry and anxiety is just mulching
Yeah,
itself and just breaking down into smaller pieces and releasing and surrendering and cleansing all of that, all of that.
yeah. Because for me, it was very much like to open something that needs to be closed, to close something that's usually closed. He had I forgot what it was called. It's where the hole wasn't closed when he was born. So um okay, so I'm gonna come to you. It's called an arterial septic defect, ASD actually, yeah. And to me that was like really very and it was exactly that. I could not talk about it because I was mulching it the whole time, and it was like really affecting me in a very strong way. But now that it's like, okay, so it's healed with the scar, but that scar to me is a mark um uh of being a soldier who won the war, kind of thing, you know? So yeah, then it's been a journey for us here. Thank you. But really thank you. And I guess that's what it is. It's about manifesting what you feel and being okay with what you feel. And that's bliss, you know? Just knowing that is already peaceful and blissful and healing as well. Thank you. Yeah.
We have a little kitty that wants to talk about. Well, it's been really a very beautiful group to kind of come together. Any last thoughts? I guess the next one will be sometime in the beginning of November.
We haven't set the actual date yet, but we will get that out to folks very soon.
Right. It'll be on 6 communion.
Mhm.
Everyone have a very, very, very sweet, blissful evening.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, pleasant.
Thank you,
Thank you
Eleanor.
so much.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Love to everyone.
Have a good
Bye.
night.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Good night.
Thank you.